There's been a lot of noise around Kumba. There's been litigation and counter litigation and arbitration, and it's been going on, yet you're able to produce these fantastic results.
Yes, this has been a difficult time with, a lot of legal stuff going on, and that is important that we look after the interests of our shareholders and do the right things, we think, for both Kumba and for the country. Whilst that is happening, we've got a very focused team on the ground. Yes, we've got lots of legal issues on the go. I think this is going to again be quite a difficult year for us. But in the meantime, the team know what they need to do.
And is there any idea of when there will be some sort of finite horizon on these legal issues?
We have some time frames. I think exact dates are more difficult to come by. On the arbitration with AMSA, we foresee that by the end of the year, first quarter of 2012, we should see a resolution around the arbitration. I think we have made some quite significant progress now that we finally got all 3 arbitrators appointed, and now the teams are starting to work out exactly the terms of the arbitration. Around the application that we have in the High Court, around the decision of the DMR to grant rights to ICT, we're starting to see another now flurry of activity. We've seen, as always anticipated, a little later, we anticipated before the end of last year, we were seeing responding affidavits from the DMR, ICT and AMSA. That's coming in a bit later, but I think we should see that now by the end of March, early April, that will be in, because we still have ICT should lodge in the next few days, and then we should see AMSA. Only after that period, then we have an opportunity, once we've now seen all of these, to now reply. And then we do our reply, so that should be in the next month or so, and then once all that stuff's together, then we set a court date. So I think in the third quarter of this year, we're likely to see a resolution around that.
The arbitration process with AMSA seeks to determine whether or not a contract mining agreement has lapsed automatically or whether it remains in place, notwithstanding the fact that AMSA did not convert its 21.4% undivided mining right. The confidential arbitration process is now underway, with 3 arbitrators being appointed. And we hope for a speedy resolution, which should take us towards the end of 2011 or early 2012. The matter of the High Court review seeks to get the court to overturn the decision by the DMR to grant ICT a prospecting right, that's firstly, and secondly, to provide a declarator on the issue of the multiple ownership of undivided mining rights. As you would have read, the DMR have filed their answering papers, and we're expecting the ICT to file their answering papers in the next few days. SIOC, after these papers have been presented, SIOC will then have an opportunity to file replying papers, after which a court date will be set. A ruling by the High Court on the correct interpretation of the MPRDA, especially the declarator sought by SIOC, may have a material and direct impact on AMSA. For that reason, a decision has been made that SIOC is required to join AMSA in the review proceedings. The joint application would add AMSA as a respondent to the review. And then the third big issue is SIOC is also now appealing against the DMR's rejection of its May 2009 mining right application. We disagree with the way in which the DMR have acted in this regard, as we believe they are obliged to be an unbiased regulator. We'll continue to protect the interests of our shareholders, and the board remains steadfast to have this matter resolved in court. We believe that it is good for the South African mining industry, for foreign investment, and for Kumba that these issues are tested in court. SIOC has recently received a confirmation from the DMR that there is no prospect of any grant to ICT of the mining rights before the review hearing in the third quarter of 2011. What that means is that we no longer have to then proceed with the urgent court interdict. We have also commissioned an economic analysis of the iron ore and steel industry value chain to enable all stakeholders to gain a common understanding of the iron ore and steel industries, to inform a comprehensive debate regarding these issues. And we're sharing our findings with all stakeholders and with any other interested parties. We continue to be committed to stakeholder engagement, but unfortunately we need to be clear that we cannot conduct any long-term agreements for the domestic supply of iron ore from Sishen Mine's output until both the arbitration and the mineral rights issues have been resolved.
For 30 years, Creamer Media's Engineering News has delivered unmatched insight into South Africa's real economy. Subscribe now and go to engineeringnews.co.za for the real economy in real time. Engineering News, not just for engineers.